Welcome. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Looks like my buttons are working today. Crazy. That's good stuff. That's good news. Got some people behind stage, and we're ready to talk. If you're not familiar with our show, Let's Talk About It. That's what we do. We talk about it. You bring a story in. I'm looking for stories, and we talk. We make things happen. We try to make things happen. I've been off for about 4 days now trying to make it all work. And I think that something is squared around, and she's starting to work. People are coming in and out like they should. So whatever it was, I did clean a lot of files up, but that was a couple days ago. Yesterday I just took a break type thing. Welcome aboard. I'll look here to see if we're on the page. The page is a little bit different now. So there is no button above to get in to the Hangout. But we're on the live Hangout page now, so it's available to watch. And the way in, I guess, would be Let's Talk About It, right? So if you look for Let's Talk About It, there might be two of them in there, two or three or whatever. There's one of them that's a page, and another one that's a community, and they're both connected to our show. But the page is where we're headed, and you should see that on air. You should see that where you can come on in from that page if you're following the page. If all else fails, and my wording will get better here as we go, but when all else fails, just go to gminteractive.com, and we have things all set up there. Underneath the player, you'll see a blue button, and that's how you can make that happen. That's your invitation to get inside the Hangout and talk. So let me bring people aboard and visit. We have Brett Campbell in Tennessee. How you doing, Brett?
Pretty good. How are you there?
I'm trying to get make things working again, and it's working.
It's coming around. They're doing a real nice job.
Yeah. So, and as a page, I don't have that invite to talk as George yet, but that will all come, I guess, down the road. I can come into the Hangout as George, so I know the invitation was there. But I can't open up the chat without coming into the Hangout. So we'll figure all that out as we go, because it's starting to work. So it could be on my end, just the know-how is not there. Let me bring Brazil aboard. Gabriel, how you doing?
I'm fine. Had a great morning so far. Good afternoon, Brett from Brazil. Good afternoon, George, again.
Yep.
Good afternoon, Gabriel from Tennessee.
Okay.
We're going to trade places today.
All right.
The country music stage. Yeah, I don't know if that's known as the country music stage. Probably it is.
Yeah, may as well be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, my morning has been great so far, and it was a little cloudy here in my town early in the morning, but right now it's sunny. Okay,
yeah.
Not so sunny, but okay. We're approaching winter here. As you can see, I'm wearing a coat. And last night was a little cold. Last night was around like something like 45, which the other day George said it was normal weather where he lived. At 45.
I was going to say 45s are high, I think, around here.
Okay, but for us it's kind of cold, so I had to get this.
How cold does it get down there? Do you have a lot of snow when it is winter? Do you get snow in your area?
Where I am, no.
Okay.
Very, very unusual. But up on the hills, okay, in the city named San Joaquin, or San Joaquin, probably you would say in English. That's where my father was born. So it snows there. That's the only. There are two cities. There are two cities in Brazil where there is snow during winter time.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is these two cities often snow. One of them is Campos do Jordão in São Paulo, or some Americans probably they say São Pablo. And the other one is São Joaquim, right here in my state, where my father was born. And there it snows hard, but nothing compared to the snow in America. Okay. But it snows hard, and most of Brazilian tourists, and even some tourists from overseas, from other countries, they come over here to take a look at the snow. Believe it or not, I haven't seen it yet.
You've never seen snow?
No, not yet.
Oh, you're in trouble.
I'm not ashamed to say that. So I live here in this state. I have this obligation to see the place where my dad was born, and especially to go there during the winter season, and I will. I'm sure I will. I want to, and I hope I will.
How about vehicles? What kind of vehicles? You must have. If it stays warm and you don't need weather. When it gets cold here, we got to have the heater on and snow tires and chains perhaps and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to worry anything about that. There are a lot of convertibles, for instance, with that weather. I suppose you get rain still, but. How often does it rain down there? Is it sunshine most of the time?
Rains a lot.
So
about the snow tires. No, we do not have snow tires. But most cars in Brazil right now, they are. But we used to have, but in the past here, like some years ago, we used to there were only three car brands that held the monopoly in Brazil. Okay, there was General Motors from America, there was Ford from America, and there was Volkswagen from Germany. And then later on, Fiat from Italy joined the group. So they, at the time, okay, I don't know if I could say that. So they dictated the orders. Okay, so we were the bosses, and and sometimes I could say that there might have been some kind of price fixing, for the cars. Okay, so we're gonna fix the prices on things like that. And then it all changed when one of our presidents, President Fernando Collor de Mello, which was a very young fellow. He was even a pilot. He could pilot an Air Force plane, and he became a president. So he was the one to bring changes to Brazil in relation to cars. So he opened up the market for foreign cars. So, I got this pain here in the back of my head. I got to take a pill or something. But wait, let me finish this. Then I'll go over to the kitchen and take a how do you call that?
Aspirin? Pain pill?
Yeah.
There you
go. And then she opened up the market for the cars, for foreign cars. And the first cars here, we had, the first car we had here was an imported car, Lada, and it was from imported. If I die on air, no problem, okay?
You better not make that happen. Don't be doing that kind of stuff, man. Go take your thingy. You can always come back. Go take your painkiller.
Okay, I'll take the painkiller. Be right back.
Go make that happen. I can visit with Brett here. So anyway, crazy, huh? Brett, I seen that show last night. That was pretty good. And
Mark's show.
Yeah,
the Music Pulse with JW.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Because he's a good good guy to interview, if you will, because he likes his stories, and of course he has the stories. And you can't make those up.
He can make up better stories than that. I've known him for a little while.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, those are the kind that you just can't make up. He's pulling them out of memory because they happen.
Yeah,
cool.
I thought Mark made a great choice having JW in there for his inaugural show, and did a great job running the show. He's a little green, as he admitted beforehand, but
go back and look at all of our first shows.
Yeah, go back and look at anything,
yeah.
Or go back and look at yesterday's show with, there's complications in every show.
Yeah, but you can.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. He's been working so hard and really putting together a good team of folks to help him out with his graphics and all that. Keaton's been doing a great job for him.
Yep.
I've never seen anybody dive in and study as hard as Mark has. You noticed how much time he spent with folks studying and learning how to make it all happen out here in the Google and hooking up pages and channels and all that other. And he's done it fast. He's doing great. Proud of him.
Yeah, we spent a little time helping him with some of that. Diane was doing most of the helping, but I was with them when they were lining them up, making it happen. Mm-hmm. Yep. You all have to go through it. I mean, it's a pain, but you go through it,
I guess you do if you're going to use your business page and channel and whatnot. I'm glad I don't do that.
Yeah. Well, today it's working. So today it's I got to do my invites. I got to, when the ABCs are working, it's a little better on the attitude. Sorry, guys.
We set up Mid-10 and Small Barn and everything. Gosh, long before Hangouts and Hangouts on Air and that kind of thing existed, long before you could link a YouTube channel to a Google page or anything else. And wow, if we'd had a clue when when we started building this, what you're going to have to jump through to make it work, we would have done a few things differently. But as it stands now, if we were going to do that, we would have pretty much have to go in and wipe out 2 years worth of work.
Well, and there is a way that you can keep those same pages, so you don't have to create new ones.
Yeah, it's a real pain. And,
it is
and
a
whatnot.
pain.
I don't think we're too interested in messing with it right yet.
Yeah, I had those pages made on mine, and I'm thinking, oh man, it's a pain. Now I have to do this because this is happening. Well, there is a way, and then and even the right way for that switch, if you will, because the owner's not the right owner at the time, because of how the YouTube is going. You make yourself the manager page, and after you're a manager for 14 days, then you can take that owner or that manager and make him an owner, and
switch
then
it over and all of that.
Yeah, it's where you want to be anyway. But the whole thing is, come on, I've been doing this for years. You should already know what's happening.
Well, I figure that we've already done the rel equals publisher stuff. We've done the rel equals author stuff. We've got this profile synced and verified and linked with that profile, etc. There really should be an easy button that says, hey, these two dudes here, these are these two dudes you're thinking about, so just do it.
Like George Miller. He's not George Miller yet. It's like I'm in control of all of everything and behind the scenes and whatever, and they still want me to put a little code in our page right where you want it, and da-da-da-da. And then when you get it all set up, everything's working fine. By then, the membership of the people that are watching you, your audience is growing. So now when you are creating a new website, you got to remember these codes, because if the codes don't stick with the pages, everything falls apart again,
Know where they are.
Yeah, right where they're at. So it's
Genesis simple scripts, baby.
Yep. But like I say, and then you change services. So during that 3-second time frame, the disconnect and the connect again. You ever tried to making well, it's not really done on the event so much, but you're making you're making a post. For instance, you got done with the YouTube. Everybody knows you're just done with the show. So now you're going to run over to YouTube to put your description in. And before you can get your description in and all that kind of stuff, everybody's tossing these things around and says, wait a minute, you should toss this page after it's complete, not halfway, you know. So it's like, that's okay. That's what happens, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
But anyway, things are working, so that's good. That's good to know out here.
Yeah.
I'll have to get used to inviting a little different.
Well, that's another one of the complications I don't want to mess with. You know, but the Mid-10 Listen shows, that they're few and far between, and we're never positive until one is set up who's going to be hosting, whether it's going to be myself or Joshua and all that other stuff. We're not too worried about running as a page. We're us. We do what we do.
Yeah, make it happen. It works out pretty good.
Yeah,
works out pretty good. And looks like Diane's in here making it happen. How you doing, Diane? And if I'm not mistaken here, I think they're letting the thingies go through now. Oh, they have this as private.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
I'm sleepy. I got all this. I went outside and was doing I mowed the grass and stuff, and so my nose is just like funky funk from that. And I only was out there about an hour or so, but I guess all this stuff got in my nose, and it's yucky.
Yeah.
How are y'all?
We're doing pretty good.
How are y'all this morning?
Doing pretty good. Trying to catch.
And then I stayed up late.
Go ahead.
I said, and then I stayed up late doing some testing with some new sounds and some new stuff, and how it makes a difference when you add a little more of this, a little more of that. And I'm in, I love to learn, and so this is all, it's all new stuff to me, because I've always been in hangouts with people, and they do all the stuff, and I just sit and enjoy and just listen and learn about all the stuff that we do, like technical stuff that we do, but I never got indulged into the other part of how to understand things and how to know all these details. And I have Ron helping me educate me, because he's a sound engineer. He's been doing it for many years, and so he's teaching me and helping me and understand, because how I am. It's got a snap crackle pop, or it's got a shishin sound. That's my words to everybody. Or it's got a buzz, or it's got this, it's got that. But I never understood what, and I've always had those people in there to kind of help me to know what, if I tell them I hear this or hear that, they know what I'm talking about. I don't know how they know, but that's because they're professionals and I'm not on that. But I'm learning, and the greatest thing about him is he's teaching me, and he's taking the time to teach me, and it's just been really great. Having a wonderful time with that. I love to learn new stuff, and this is if I'm going to do this, then I need to learn, how to do it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But we watched. We were actually in a hangout last night, and I brought the Music Pulse inside my hangout. I came up with that little thing that you could do that. So I actually brought. Thing? Where you're in a regular hangout. And actually, we were in a hangout on there, but we never went live because we was using the studio mode, so we had to be in that act like you're going into a live hangout. And we would have recorded, but we couldn't get something. There was something to do with he bought a new mic, and he got a great deal on a mic. It was like $700 mic, and he found it at a pawn shop for like $50. So in great condition. So it was pretty cool. But anyway, And so we brought into our YouTube app, you know, the Music Pulse's live feed last night with J.W. Sawgrass. And we put it in our live feed and we watched it inside there. So he was really inspiring. I think he was very and I didn't know him well, but he was very inspiring whenever he talked about, you know, his past history and what he's, you know, doing. And then at the very end, he was just very inspiring to artists to just keep doing what you love. And I really enjoyed his discussion and his loveliness. I thought, you know, I know it sounds bad to say that about me and, you know, loveliness, but, you know, just his words and his inspiration towards, you know, keep living the dream and keep pushing and all that kind of stuff. I just love that. I just love it. I love that type of feeling coming from people that have been out there doing for all these years and they come back and they just have that love and heart for other people and just the motivation to keep going, you know, just keep on keeping going. And it kind of makes me, this morning, you know, I seen a post from Sonya, you know, and it kind of makes you just cringe in your heart sometimes because, you know, she was going to go to a gig and they wanted her to come and play. You know, she's a, you know, wonderful singer-songwriter and musician. Man, she's got some really great riffs with her guitar. I mean, telling you what, she's an awesome Texas lady, and I'm not being biased. She is awesome, not just because she's from Texas, but you know, she had made a thing that this restaurant wanted her, you know, they were going to get live music, and but they only wanted to pay these independent artists $50 for 4 hours of singing in their live for them to sing live. $50, and they had to bring their own PA, everything. They had to bring their own stuff,
everything but electricity.
and they want to pay you $50 to play in their restaurant for 4 hours, and I think that's pretty much what you call disrespect to independent artists and their talent and their abilities. I think it's so, and that's why I'm saying, and it's disheartening when you have those places, because I mean, you know, at that restaurant, one meal's $50 probably for a couple, you know. So if they really want live music and they want really great people like her to come there and play, I mean, come on, $50. I can buy a nice bottle of wine for $50, you know. Yeah. You know, you're selling these food. You're wanting live, beautiful music from an artist that sings and writes and all that, and you're going to pay them $50, and they have to bring their own stuff. That's pretty disrespectful to me.
Yeah,
I just want to say, I don't know what that restaurant is, but if she would have put the restaurant name, I would sure spill it out there for you today. Anyway, boycott that restaurant.
Yeah.
Restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's how it goes, and it's just really not good. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I just saying. I mean, you know, it just shows you what the restaurant really believes in themselves. I mean, you know, it's the attitude or the character that they're showing the artists long term. It's the character that will turn away the future artists down the road. You know, they're going to get a reputation of not getting any money in that direction or even being treated well. Just that simple.
Don't they know? Yeah, and I'll just put it out there for all those cheap restaurants that want live, wonderful music from beautiful independent artists out there. They can make $50 online. They don't have to come. They don't have to leave their house. You understand? There's ways of making money right here online. So you need to get out your pocketbook and start paying them with a little bit more respect. That's all I got to say.
There you go.
What do you think, Brett?
What's happening, Brett?
I'm sorry, I was on the phone.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
He missed the whole
Let's see if this
thing.
works. Hey, Billy Kay, say hi to them.
No.
That didn't work too well.
Not loud enough. You got to push your right buttons. You got to have them all. Push them up.
Yeah, you're saying hi to Paul McCartney. There's Billy Kay. Say hi to George and Diane and everybody.
Hey, George and Diane and everybody. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Pretty
How
darn
Bill
good.
okay?
They say they're good.
We're live on a hangout.
Oh no, stop it.
He says he's live from Nashville at the Weekly Motel.
Weekly, okay.
His executive assistant Amber, the housekeeper. So what did I miss, Bill? Hey Billy, I'll call you back here in an hour or two. We did what we needed to do as far as the preliminary, and I'll call you right back. All right, peace.
Yeah.
All right, what did I miss?
And Billy would have been a good one to ask. When he goes into a venue, without naming actual prices, it's a slap in the face if they're going to keep him around in that venue, for instance, or if he wants to play a couple songs, that they give him $50 for like 4 hours of his work.
4 hours of work.
That it ain't going to work.
And bring your. I'll look on your. Did you see that Brett on Sonia had made that post? That's what I was discussing about this restaurant, and that's what we were talking about.
I saw a notification that she had posted, and I thought the topic looked interesting, but I was on my way in the hangout over here, and I hadn't done that yet. I'm multitasking today, so I take it we're talking about getting paid gigs at venues.
Yeah, where it's an insult.
Did I do my laugh yet?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was good. That was a good laugh too.
Well, I don't know where we got to or what was said, but getting a paid gig at a venue for an independent musician right now is one of the hardest things on the face of the earth to pull off. The venue has an attitude of, I don't know you. I don't know your music. I don't know these people you're talking about that might follow you around to see your show. Thus, by you playing here, we're offering you exposure to a new crowd, and that is worth so much more than any money I could pay you. By the way, I'm broke.
Mm-hmm.
The performer's attitude is, I realize you don't know me. That's why I've brought you the disc and the videos and the bios and the references. And here's my numbers count from the people that follow me around and go to my shows. I'm going to bring in some business to your venue. Those people are going to spend money, possibly on expensive beer or nice food, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm offering you 4 hours to 6 hours of honest-to-goodness work.
Yep.
By the way, I'll be promoting the show.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, your venue gets exposure and free advertising.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, it's hard to get the venue to see the value in live music or in paying a band, when the truth is almost every venue in every little town can hire a $50 a night karaoke guy and fill the joint up. But when they hire a band that nobody's seen, the place is empty.
Yep. Even if they're good.
Even if they're good. Now, what has caused this? Here's the crux of it. What caused this? Millions of independent musicians walking in and say, hey, I'll play for free and promote your venue so I can have some exposure.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Let me mention that Jeff has come aboard. So Jeff is in California. How you doing this morning, Jeff?
Wakey, wakey.
You're awake, huh? Making it work?
Late night last. For some
nice
reason,
cup. I like that stainless steel.
Yeah.
So last night was
a little longer than the ceramics.
Yeah. Last night was a busy night then for you and the folks.
Well, just me. I was up late working on some music. I came up with one track that I was able to post, which was a cover of a Phil Ochs tune called There But For Fortune. And Phil Oakes. If you don't know who Phil Oakes was, I wonder if it's even still. Phil Oakes was a singer-songwriter from in the 60s and early 70s. He was unique. He was unique in terms of his songwriting and the way he performed. And when the war ended, and for a variety of reasons, I guess he suffered from depression anyway. He ended his life, and so I think it was 1976. So there's a Wikipedia page that talks about him and some of the stuff he accomplished. I was influenced by him at an early age. So many songs. This one in particular, though, for some reason, I tend to take songs other people did and turn them into ballads, and that's pretty much what I did with this. But it's a really gut-wrenching kind of a song for me at the time when I was in my teens. So anyway, it's short. It's 2.5 minutes, easy to listen to, and the basic message is, when you see someone in unfortunate circumstances, just remember it could so easily be you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it happens.
I think what the old feller down there in Denton, Texas taught me was, there but for the grace of God go I. And what a handy phrase for me to have remembered.
Yep. Making it happen.
Whether you call it fortune, the universe, luck, God,
life, karma, dharma, whatever.
It's so easily could be me in those shoes or those bare feet, and in fact has been in the past. And it's really just a whole lot of lucky circumstances that allowed me to be sitting in this chair today talking to you about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Good stuff.
It's a beautiful day in paradise once again.
Sun shines out. It's raining in Seattle.
Oh,
all right. You got your normal weather back.
Yeah, I got my normal weather back. I'm happy as hell.
We've had Seattle weather here. We've had over 13 inches of rain in our neighborhood this month.
Yeah.
This month, 13 inches of rain in our neighborhood.
You must be near Houston. No, you're in, I forget.
I'm south of Nashville, here at the foot of the Cumberland Plateau.
Yeah, but you're in that horseshoe around the bay down there that where you get all that water laden air coming over you and getting wrung out every once in a while.
We get anything that comes across from Texas. I mean, it just runs the interstate system, 35 to 40, right through the middle of Tennessee, or anything that comes from the Gulf. And I happen to be at a spot in which I can watch those two weather patterns. If you've got winds coming from both directions, I can watch them collide and spin right over my house every time. It's really neat.
Yeah,
it's also fun to watch the destructive storms. I don't know how many times I've been called and Brett, get in your basement. There's a tornado heading straight at your house. And I'm saying, yes, I'm standing here watching it. It's going to get over here and it's going to turn left and go down 127. And sure enough, it does it every time.
Open space.
One of these times it's not going to. Diane just put a link in the chat room here. It's on Memorial Day information. Are we going to have a program out here every once in a while? Maybe visit with people and maybe talk about what Memorial Day means to them,
sounds fine with me.
Would that be kind of cool to do?
I know some cool veterans we could bring in.
Let's do it. Let's try to do something like that. I mean, just organize of some sort. I don't know what we'd come up with, but I think we can come up with the whole world, different views, you know, different angles, if you will, like you say, come up with some people. If we want to set a time, we can, but we can do it at random too, you know, where we can get a hold of each other and turn things on. I'm a little more confident on the Hangout actually working for us today in all angles.
Yeah,
really.
they're working on it. Yeah.
Did you start from the page again, George?
Yeah. I was gonna, if I had troubles today, the first shot, and I kind of had confidence, but not necessarily real good. But then I got in there and everything worked, so I said, let's just stick with it, because it's a matter of throwing files around, you know, at YouTube, trying to get things lined up again for other people to find it. But it's working, so I think
Seemed to
that
work good.
Yeah.
And Mark's show last night was, well, he got a little flustered at first. It's not working, it won't post. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Take a breath, do it again, take a breath, do it again. Okay, it's working. Okay, we'll start.
And it's the first couple.
I heard that Google was really messed up all day yesterday for lots and lots of people having hard times making anything work. But I tell you what, guys, yesterday, as far as my Google experience, best experience I've had since the new layout change. It was everything was smooth and worked real well. I tell you one thing I did do though is I've gone and I've disconnected a whole lot of stuff, and I got rid of that Talk.2 app that was driving me nuts. I removed the add-on Hangout app. I don't see any need for it anymore. The built-in box seems to be doing everything it's supposed to do. And I changed some notification settings in my main settings page, and by gum, things just cleaned right up and started ticking right along for me.
Yeah. Well, remember, we even made notice, boy, a week ago, even before I started having troubles, where the video is real nice and clean, and you know, we can move like this. There's no lag. I don't see any lag anyway.
That's so much better than it used to be.
Better to do.
The audio.
Yeah.
You know,
really glad about the new bandwidth stuff, and that was where I tuned in. I missed the first hour or two of I/O, and when I tuned in, that's what they were on, was talking about cutting video and audio, bandwidth
Like
requirements by 60%, down to a third of what they used to be. Wow, and that's just.
And then tossing that around, you know.
It was already pretty good, you know.
Yeah. But they figured out a way to you know, they don't want to call it compress either. You notice that when they were trying to explain it, they didn't want to say compress.
No, they didn't want to say compress, but you compress a file, you compress a file. There's no.
but
don't beat around the bush.
They wanted to shrink the file a little bit, but anyway, I thought it was pretty good. Now I just added, or I'll open it up here for Jeffrey's link here too. So Diane, I'll have that link in. That Robert put up about veterans. So that will go on the show notes for today.
So now this is the guy that we were just talking to on the phone, Billy Kay, a homeless veteran. He's in a very unique situation. He's managed to do okay for himself money-wise, but a lot of circumstances beyond his control have put him in a situation in which he either has to scrape up $150, $200 to live in a hotel for a week, or in the VA shelters. And that's I've talked to him now for 3 years and listened to him bouncing around trying to keep things straight and get everything worked out. And it's a shame the troubles that he has to go through. Truly.
Now, does Billy have he doesn't have a website per se, does he?
He does.
Oh, he does. Can you give me that link? Since we're talking to it, I'll put it in a row here.
Which keyboard do I type in?
One that I can. It shows up on my end. Not the Telegraph. I'm through with that Telegraph. I don't do that anymore. Enough of that.
I typed it in there now. I'm hitting it to make sure it's the right one. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. And as I put that in the right order, let's bring Lee aboard. Lee is in Ohio. How you doing this morning, Lee?
Oh, I'm doing well here. It's turned cool on us. I don't know why, but it's turned cool.
I just have to make sure nothing's going to play sound before I if I toss it over here, I'm going, oh, now I can't find it, and it plays sound. So we're okay on the sound. But so it's cool this morning for you, this afternoon for you.
Yeah. It was. I just got back in the car. My grandson's elementary school they have a cookout for parents and grandparents once a couple times a year, and just got back from that.
Mm-hmm.
Saying 68 in the automobile.
We're thinking of putting together a show for Memorial Day weekend, and we don't know time frame or which day or both days or.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, kicking it around.
I've got one of our military teams, veterans teams in the race, wants to do a show with me, but it's trying to find a time is the tricky part of it, and right now I probably going to wind this down next week because everybody's packing on the road, headed for Oceanside, California, and so it's kind of hard to round people up. I was kind of surprised to get the people I have.
Yeah, and it's where you can free up and them free up, and in your case, you want the actual file. It's not necessarily the live show that you
no, it's the live shows.
That file.
Is nice, and hopefully. Well, I think I got one person coming in with me this afternoon with my show with Marco Bello, and there might be some others because he's a pretty popular guy in the cycling world. So.
Well, if you can think of it when you're talking to them, if they can free up some time, one of the 2 days, we're gonna try putting something together, maybe both days, and take shifts, if you will, and come on out here and make it happen. Get the guys together to. I know there's be other shows, so we're not saying take anything away from them, but we're throwing ideas around. We're brainstorming, if you will. Diane, I have not read that note you put up. So was it something that we can go over? Anything that Robert had in there?
Robert and some friends had done this about a year and a half ago. Set up the Veterans Workshop, and that's what the post is about. And he said, he wrote on there, he was so honored and humbled to have privilege to stand in the shadow of an extraordinary man or men. And then it's him and Ken Smith and several other people have done this little thing. And the Google Plus page is Veterans Workshop, so you can Google that in your little put plus Veterans Workshop and find the and it's advocate for over 20 years. He started the largest homeless shelter for veterans in the country in Boston, and several other people here on Google Plus that they can give back to the men and women who have sacrificed so much for their country. And what it is, it aims to train 1,500 vision disabled veterans this year. The program is a game changer for veterans who otherwise may get left behind, as good job opportunities are few and far between for these extraordinary people. So that's their focus, is they're assisting those, and they're trying to help train the vision impaired veterans and get them jobs and that kind of stuff and help that out. So that's what we shared this morning. And like I said, it's the Google Plus page is called Veterans Workshop, and some of the people in Google has assisted in that and trying to get the word out. And like Chichu and Vic, good job. I can never say his name, so I'll screw it up. So, but anyway, that's what I shared. And he's a really good advocate. He's got a good heart. He's doing a lot of things. On Google Plus, he's got a community that he set up to help support Boston, and you know, he's a pretty good guy with a good heart and what he's doing and a lot of things. So yeah, check that out because it's pretty cool. And I know George will put it on the notes, but you know, it's just people helping people, and veterans is very important to us. We want to show our support and anything we can do, whether it's you know, funding or whether it's just you out there doing or sharing a post or letting it be known, you know, that you're supporting, you know, have a voice out there that we are all for our veterans, and you know, we're proud to have them, and it's just what we do. So it's kind of cool for Memorial Day 2013, and so I'm sure he would maybe want to be able to come on and maybe discuss maybe something if we had that day on the show.
Now I have a couple here. Veterans workshop in a certain area, I guess. Skanks, I guess, workshop, and Peter Guitar's workshop for veterans. So
let me give you the actual link, and I'll pull it up and do a screen share. My screen share is my screen share doesn't sometimes let me out of this thing.
Okay, so, is this the one that you're thinking of?
Let me see. I'm coming back in.
Okay. It looks like,
yes, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, that they started up well. But you know, it's just what they started here, you know, as a passion of theirs to show support and to do some things and help out, and so pretty cool. I think there's some pretty cool people that's out there that nobody knows about that are doing great things, you know, and assisting. So that's the page right there. Okay. So y'all can go and check it out and circle it up and see what it all is about. If nothing else, you can get notifications on what their progress is going on. So that's the wonderful thing about Google Plus pages is a lot of times you can't follow everything that's going on everywhere and every page and all that stuff that and what they're doing. But you know, they do follow-ups and stuff on their page to tell you what happened and what they've accomplished and what their goal is for the next year and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Brett, you said that you might be able to conjure up some energy of any sort, really, down in your neck of the woods, or at least to get on out here. What would be a good time, do you think, as a first guest? Now we're brainstorming for something like that. It's kind of hard to figure out, ain't it, really?
You know, one of the biggest problems I have in life, George, is scheduling.
Yeah.
And knowing when is a good time for me. So I'll tell you what I tell everybody else. Set it up. Send me the time. If I can possibly make it, I will.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
That's the best I can give you. I mean, you got a lot of people that'll be on Saturday morning, you know, really interested in getting started with their Memorial Day celebrations and whatnot. And you'll have a lot of cookouts and things like that get started up. But then I guess the big day is really Monday. But that, I guess, would also be FaceTime competition day also with every news channel in the world and all of that other stuff going on. So,
well, sometimes
I don't know. We used to go to West Virginia and shoot off fireworks at Papa Charlie's house. And
sometimes it's kind of good to watch them and come back and talk about it and watch this over here, and we'll be back in an hour to talk about it and da-da-da-da. I mean, you know, it could be an off and on a going affair that we could get going. Diane and I tried to do that on I don't think it's on Inauguration Day. And we kept it up for a good 3 sessions of 3 hours. Suggest to actually go like an hour's worth and then off for an hour and back on, you know. So, but we actually got a music show this Saturday. And Brett's going to be around. That's going to be like right before all these events, huh?
I hear the main performer for Saturday has not had any time at all to practice, and was even thinking last night, geez, if he has to spend every day working his studio around for other projects, when he's going to need to cancel.
Uh-oh.
Actually,
That's how it is.
I think he came up with his set list and his notebook full of stuff, and if he can get his fingernails trimmed and guitar strings changed, he might stumble through it anyway.
Make it happen, yeah. Yeah, well, we all want to get to know him, so.
You don't want to know him. He's a jerk.
Well, we want to get everyone to know him and know some of the stuff he does, you know, and you know. So I don't know. Diane was talking to Gabriel here. Let me bring Gabriel back aboard. You're behind your stadium right now, but Gabriel, were you talking about a friend or something? I just reading through it now. Let me hand you the mic and go through some of
that. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to Diane. I wasn't able to say good. I could not say good afternoon to her before, okay. So good afternoon, Diane. Good afternoon, Lee, in Ohio. Hope you're doing okay. Okay. Yeah. Thumbs up. And yes, I got this friend, Sarah, and she works with vets there in the U.S. She's got a great job. Like, I don't know if her job, I got to check. You know, I'm not like very inquisitive, like ask a lot of questions, but I believe her job has to do with helping the veterans, psychologically speaking, like when they come back from their how do you call that, when they come back from their tour? Yeah. Okay. And then she helps them out, like
they go through orientation. So it could be some sort of an orientation. There's different types.
Yeah. I believe that's what she does. And since you were mentioning about talking about having a show here talking about Memorial Day, okay, I think she would like to be interested. But I should talk to her first. And I don't even know her working hours, and she might be a very busy person, or I'm not sure. So she's just a friend. We talk once in a while, so I'll talk to her and maybe. And I'm not even sure if she's in Google Plus.
Yeah, well, it's a heads up. You know, it's just a heads up.
If she ever comes here and joins the show, you will notice that she's a super sweet person, a very loving person, and she's got this special love for veterans of war, and she takes good care of them, and she's American.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's a nice person. We made friends, and she loves Brazil also, my country, and I don't know if she ever, I don't remember if she's ever been here before. Didn't ask her yet, but
okay,
I will ask her. And
yeah,
my head is feeling a little better now.
Yeah, there you go.
After I took the painkiller, so this pain often comes and goes after the stroke I had, and sometimes they come so strong, like it was like in the beginning of the show, and I could not control it.
Yeah.
So I took a very strong painkiller and to try to ease the pain here, and now I'm feeling a little better.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, well, and Jeff, did you have anything to add? What do you think about Veterans Day and trying to get something put together, if nothing else, just to help out in the film strip, if you will, or take over for a half hour while we take breaks and you know, different things like that. You think you'd be interested in holding the fort down, have people come by and say hi type stuff? Would that be kind of cool?
You really going to put me on the spot while we're on the air?
Sure. That's the only way I do it. Other than that, you'll say no.
I'll fall on Brett's sword and say if I'm around and you're doing it and I can help out, I'd always love to help you out, George. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's what it's all about.
When I
getting
think of Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and all I can think about is the veterans that are out there living on the street, the mothers with children coming back from war that have no place for their families to live, no roof over their heads, living out of their cars, doing God knows what in order to survive. It's incredible to me that a country that asks so much can offer so little in return. And I know that there's programs out there, and the money's been allocated, but the money can't, and the resources can't get to the veterans coming back because there's a backlog of 1 million applications for help. And it's really I don't want to take this into a political space. I just want to say that I think it's every one of us, as we sit down, in our kitchens, in our living rooms, our dining rooms today to watch the TV shows about, lives that never existed, that are just there for our entertainment, take a moment and turn off the TV and say a prayer for the people that have lost limbs, that have suffered unbelievable traumas from battles and engagements and death that they've witnessed and participated in, and think about the fact that we only have these things because the youth of our nation are sent out to do these things to protect us, and we really should do a better job of taking care of them when they come back.
Yeah. Now my son went over there. My son was struck by the things that happened in New York, your World Trade Centers and stuff.
Sure.
And he says, I'm going to help. He went over there, did his thing. Yep. So, it was just that time frame, and so forth. But he's now retired, and of course he's made it through the rough times. Diane, during some of this here, did you have anything to add, or as we're talking for tomorrow for our little brainstorm ideas?
I think it's a good idea, because anytime you can bring awareness of what's, I know that people all across the United States, they're in total support of our troops, and even on my share of this post, there's a little political, and it does get political, to the aspect of the people. I think that in just what Jeffrey was talking about, it's hard not to get a little political with this, because in my share, one of them had posted, it takes a veteran 20 years to get full retirement, and it's just the political whole aspect of everything, a veteran, takes 20 years to get a retirement from our armed forces and everything, but yet you can have these people that's in Congress and get lifetime retirement and not serve nothing, and where is the focus and where is the support really, and that's it's kind of hard, because it's kind of hard not to put it in political sometimes because of that aspect of it, and we wouldn't have a lot of our freedom, we wouldn't have a lot of our life if we didn't have our troops. So you do have to you have to look back in that, and I don't want to get any real political right now, but you have to have that as what you're looking at, because you have all these people that went to protect us, and they're going to they're doing what I didn't, I wouldn't do. I never, my children, not in the armed forces, and it's just that you honor them, because without them and our freedom would be where? you know, and we talk about it all the time, and you know, no matter what your political views are, no matter, and I'm so against war. I think that, you know, it's just the most craziest thing in the world that we have this in our world, and it's all, and it doesn't even, a lot of times it doesn't even, it's a war against things that I don't even know. It's the higher ups war, not the people's, you know, and so I believe that it's just so much that should be done, but you know, that's the greener thinking of me, I guess, because I just think that there's nothing so you know, if I just think it's just, I just hate it. And but the thing about it is we have our wonderful troops, and to support them, and that's what I do. I support them. I don't always support the cause of why we do these things, or why we're going into war, or why we're having to send our troops here and there. I don't always support the why, but I always support them, because without them we would be really in, and that's from, and you know, it's kind of hard because I have this feeling of you support, you know, every country has their soldiers, and they have their military, and they have all these people, and the people support their military, and just like them, they don't always support the cause or the reason why we're doing this, that these choices have been made higher up, but we all come together and support the people that are in our armed forces. Yeah. And that's where our lack is, because once they have done that, we're no longer supporting them, you know, and we fall in that area. We fall in supporting those that keep us safe.
Well, maybe we can make that the background to, or the thread throughout the show is supporting the troops, and not get too much into whys and you know, the actual maybe a veteran or two will drop by and express what's happening, you know.
Well, my family, my grandfather was in both the Army and the Air Force. And so when he passed away, you know, they were both at his funeral, doing their thing. He was in both, and I didn't realize that. I never even knew. I mean, he has all of his stuff, you know, but you know, growing up as kids, it was a different time then, and he spoke of it. He was very much loyal to his country and everything. Yeah. But I've seen all of his little stuff and everything, but I think it was a different time then, because he didn't really speak of it as much as, you know, you hear about it now. It's yeah. He went to the, of course, you know, on the memorial times and all that kind of stuff. Yes, he was, but it wasn't so as much as today. And I kind of miss. But whenever, you know, they were both there, it was like I was very proud, you know. I was very honored that this was my grandfather, and just everything they did, and how in learning more about just them speaking. I mean, they went through, each one of them went through all of his stuff, and it was very, yeah. I was amazed, because my grandfather never spoke of it.
My mom's dad was in World War I and World War II. So it's, you know, and the military of all of his brothers, and quote, the family, my upline in the family, is a military family. But I myself was not. I started having kids so darn early, before I could talk, I think. You know,
me too.
So the whole thing is, I started having kids, and I was busy work, and so, but you know, Robert, one of my sons, made it happen in the Marines. Came out sergeant, retired as sergeant Marines. So, you know, it's a special deal, and I'll tell you, my heart was over there the whole 4 years he was doing his thing. It's tough, man. It's tough on the parents too. It's tough on all the family that is still at home, and they're thinking about them every day, that type of stuff. But let's get something together, and we can talk about it all day long. But let's talk about it all day long, Sunday and Monday type deal. When we run into time, and I think that if we scheduled it, it might. I don't know if it's. I suppose when we do schedule it, we'll put it in the events page, and therefore we'll make things happen in that regard. What do you think, Diane?
Yeah.
Okay.
When are we doing this?
Let's do it Sunday and Monday. And Saturday, of course, we're having a music show. And time frame, I don't know. Everybody knows our 10 o'clock time frame.
That's
Maybe that's
26.
I didn't look at the clock here, but it's just coming up Sunday and Monday. Yeah, be the 26th and 27th.
We have a big thing on the 25th too. For our food thing, we have the March Against Monsanto. It's coming up on Saturday, and all across the world, people will be protesting, and
That's Saturday.
Figure something out. Yeah, that's Saturday.
Okay.
So all around the world will be doing their little protest, marching, and it's pretty much that's going to be happening for that because it's just a day that all of them are going to get together and show their support for, food, diversity, sustainable agriculture, and labeling of foods. There's going to be a lot of discussion on that. We want our foods labeled, and like I said, there's a lot of people doing that, and that's going to be all on Saturday, and there's going to be people all around the world, over 36 countries that are tied into this march on Saturday. Okay. So,
well, let's do it this way. As far as time frame, we all know that we're here. At least myself, I'm here every day at 10 o'clock. So let's say that on the Sunday and Monday coming up, Sunday and Monday, the 10 o'clock time frame for our show, we'll spend as a topic. We'll spend time talking about. Memorial Day and what it means to us, and invite people to come in and share their stories if they want to, and if we need longer show than that hour, we'll talk about it at the time, and if we want to take a 2-hour break and come back in a couple hours, we can make that happen, but we'll leave that as an open end maybe. You know what I'm saying? If it gets full and it works for everybody, we can do that. Come back at noon or 1 o'clock, or if we're busy, like you say, that's okay too.
Yeah, and I have family coming in this weekend too. So it's my brother. I haven't seen him in a year. My brother and a sister-in-law and 2 nieces coming in for the weekend. So I'll be.
It's a day for family. The Memorial Weekend really is for the families to get together and celebrate what they do have, and
so I have them coming up from they live closer to Beaumont, and they're coming up this weekend, and some of my other sisters and nieces and nephews and cousins and all them coming up. So it's going to be I have no clue what's going to happen. We're one of these families get together, and you never know what's going to happen. So you never know what their plans. We change plans all the time. We might decide to go do something else. So I have no clue what's going to happen this weekend.
Well, I have the show, so it'll be at least starting off with the show, and maybe I can get my son to talk a little bit about what it means to be a veteran and that type of thing. Lee, I mentioned a little bit back here. Did you have anything on your end?
I just talk about veterans. We've been pretty active in that in our race. In fact, if you go to the show website and look back to 2011, it's back 6 or 7 videos on that file. I did a recorded show that included the Team 4 Mill, with the Wounded Warriors from the United States and Help for Heroes from Great Britain. In fact, I gave the team from Great Britain their tagline, which they were using. I felt a little embarrassed about it at first, but they were tickled to death with it. I called them 8 riders, 7 legs, and so I mean there was a team of 8 riders, but they only had 7 legs between them, and I think the American team beat them, but they had 8 riders and 14 legs, so they had more legs than the Brits did, so they didn't leave quite as many over there. But it's an interesting video. You can see how these guys do it. And
is that the Wounded Warriors?
Wounded Warriors, yeah.
And Help for Heroes?
Yep.
Okay. So see what and I just added it to my the post down below here. So it'll be in the post down there,
okay.
and I'll put them in order of how we're talking about it. So I went and I found that. Yeah.
What they've done this year, the Brits and the Americans have gone together and formed a single team between them. What we Americans fail to realize is that based on population, the British have their casualty rate has been higher than ours in the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. In other words, they've suffered more than we have, population-wise. So, you know, we kind of think we've done it all, but we sure haven't.
Yeah.
And these guys, I tell you, they amaze you. I mean, they don't seem to have any bitterness about it, or, you know, I mean, okay, so I lost both my legs, you know. Daggone it, I'm going to be on this team that's going to bicycle coast to coast, and so they do.
Yeah.
And, they're quite remarkable, and I think they're a good role model for others, because I know that some vets just kind of throw in the towel of life, and these guys show them there's another style.
They've been beat up, and then when they get home, they don't get the support.
Yeah.
You know, or they think they don't at times, and it's bad for morale.
Yeah. Well, next I get to England, and I don't know when they'll be, if ever, but I'm going to go to their training site there in Wales, where they do the training over there for these guys, and they do, you know, the oxygen stuff and all that kind of thing. And
yeah.
But the shoulders and arms on these people they're bigger than our legs, you know. I mean,
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's not only the training; it's how they move around.
They're just remarkable people.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. So let's see. Jeff just put something in here. Jeff, what's happening?
That's a link to a post by Dan McDermott, which includes the text of President Obama's speech that he's making this morning to talk about national defense and counterterrorism and our use of drones, which is somewhat apropos to our conversation.
Okay.
And so I put it there. It's a very long speech, and looks to be.
Is that just a transcript of the speech itself, or?
I think so. Yeah, and I think he's laying out in detail a policy now that may have been in effect, and talking about, you know, the reasons behind it.
Okay.
So
right.
It's worth a read.
Yeah, and that of course is down. I just added that to the links. Looks like I have 6, 7, 8 links there, and we're taking them in a row. And I of course try to keep them in a row here. What I have going. The more links we have, the slower my machine is, but that's okay.
We got hot links for lunch.
Hot links for lunch, and everybody is welcome to join. Remember, that's of course today's Thursday. We have another, of course, show Friday, and we're doing the same, you know, just finding stories type deal. And then Saturday we'll have Brett Brett's going to be our music show in the morning. The afternoon show that we've been trying to go and get and find a good time has been canceled. So we do not have an afternoon show on this coming Saturday right now, anyway. And
did we cancel my show?
Not yours, but the afternoon show.
Afternoon show.
He's
Okay.
happy. He wants us to go.
Open up your ears and listen.
I'm catching 60%, I think.
He's got his eyes closed.
I tell you.
You're doing
Now the real problem. Let me get rid of this stupid coffee thing. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Where's Hangout Toolbox right there, and then you hit that button. You know, all my presets were gone again this morning. I've complained about that before, and slowly over the last few days, I've been loading them up. And last night they were all right there. Even brand new ones were all right there.
Yeah.
I got up this morning; they're all gone now.
Oh no.
Can't you get to your presets stored on Google Drive directly and maybe?
That's where mine are stored.
That's where all of them are stored. But
Yeah, they're all just stored there
haven't-
by
I
default
haven't
once you upload them.
yeah, I haven't looked at mine yet, so I don't really know where exactly.
That's what we need is Google to tell us what the path is to get to your stored presets.
It's probably an easy path too. It's just we haven't,
It's probably Hangout Toolbox user code number blah blah blah.
Actually, we could post to Hangout Toolbox. They have a Google Plus presence, right? And we could post to them with the question of, is there a direct link to my stored presets? And
I'm just happy as heck that it's working.
Just that any of it works is really cool. I don't really mind too much having to load the picture again. It only takes a moment.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
I mean,
Moritz
just
is real helpful with it, and he probably would, Jeffrey, help us out, us being Google dumb, not just us, but all of Googledom. He would probably help us out and let us know what we need to do in that sort of case. My guess is that he's already aware of the issue and doing something about it as fast as he can.
Fortunately, my few presets are all still there. So
Yeah, mine are there too. Has anybody actually tried to look? It's not that big of an area. I mean, if you don't have a lot of files in there, that where you could find it possibly in your own Google Drive.
I haven't seen it in my Google Drive. I've got a folder that all of those are saved in. They're also saved on my desktop for quicker upload, but I haven't seen it. I'm in my Google Drive every day getting rid of stuff because I don't have enough space.
Me too. It's like, so let's see. Down in Brazil, what do you guys do during our memorial celebrations and stuff? What do you think of how we're making that happen?
Well, first of all, I appreciate all the things that Americans do in relation to Memorial Day. I'm a little bit familiar with it, and how much you guys care about the veterans when they come back from their tour and everything. And all I know about it, okay, I cannot talk about it, but all I know about it is what I see on videos, like some of them complaining that when they come back home and they, some of them they like look for a job or something and they do not get the assistance they need, and men and women, servicemen and servicewomen, and all that. But I can tell you about our vets.
Yeah,
so I can talk about our vets. Okay, so I'm entitled to talk about our vets. So anyway, our vets, we only have vets that participated, that joined, that participated in World War II. So if you have an idea, believe it or not, there's still maybe one or two are still alive, but they're very, very old. And when all the world got together to beat Germany at the time, you probably Lee remembers that, and you also, George. Brazil was also present, was one of the allies. Okay, our army though was very limited, still limited. Our army, so we do not invest too much our army here in Brazil, and but now our president, I believe, is going to invest a lot more in the our national security. Okay, I always mention ours. Okay.
Yeah.
Our national security now, because we have two great big events now here coming to Brazil. We have the World Cup, and then we have the Olympiads, and you never know what may happen. There are terrorists all over the world, and they will, events like those.
Okay.
They must be protected. So our government is investing very heavily on security, because we're going to have a lot of tourists coming to these events. If I'm not wrong, okay, so I got to check it out again. We even are having some assistance from a U.S. In that case, a U.S. like soldiers or agents helping the Brazilian security forces, the army, etc., to deal with those kind of. I'm not sure. I got to check it out. Probably I read that on another day, since you guys have a lot more involved in this kind of stuff, security, and we're not as much.
Yeah.
So the last war that I can remember that we were involved was it was in 1945 or 44, 45, World War II, but it was a long time ago. And also, I believe that Brazil was at war with Paraguay. It was a neighboring country here, but many years ago. Many years ago. Okay. And ever since, the only thing that we are doing, we're like, we have, I don't know what you call that. So I'm going to use a name. You correct me, okay? We're working in connection with the United Nations Peace Corps. Okay, so we have soldiers that are sent to a country, like we have some soldiers in Haiti now, helping the Haiti people that suffer with that big earthquake there. So they're helping the folks like to reorganize themselves, and also to keep things, running normal in the country. So we work a lot more in the sense of peacekeeping. Okay, so we send our soldiers to educate the population, instruct the population. Some are teachers, some are nurses, but not directly involved in the battle or something like that. You name it, okay?
Yeah.
So and hopefully we never will, because even if we did, so we're not prepared for it, and we do not want it. It's not of our nature, it's not of Brazilian nature to be involved in wars. So it's a tradition in our country, so always to keep things like peaceful. So we don't want like to please this country and not feel that country feel unhappy because of us. So we want to please everyone. We want to be friends with everyone in the best way possible, not to hurt anyone's feelings, etc. So, and all the involvement we got is in peacekeeping. Okay, and but as for the Memorial Day that you guys they're keeping this day, I think it's something great, something beautiful, and I also support. Okay, although I'm South American, not North American, I support the way you guys fight hard in order to have these soldiers that fight for your country, not only for your country, but fight for other countries as well. Okay, now to bring these guys back into the workforce, like to provide them with a nice quality of life, like to provide them so they can get a job and support their family. I believe this is all they want, is to come back and support their families. And some of them probably are even still unmarried and want to get married and want to make a family. And I think that's cool.
There you go. Anyone else? I guess I don't need to type it. I was just gonna...
Gabriel should know that here at the Air Force Museum here in Dayton, we have a nice display about the Brazilian Air Force during World War II, who did a great job patrolling for submarines, what have you, in the South Atlantic, where they were doing an awful lot of damage. And the Air Force has done a pretty good job of recognizing all of the various nations that contributed, because sometimes we don't think about Brazil. As a matter of fact, I had one guy tell me, "Well, Brazil was on the other side." I said, "Well, you're talking about Argentina. I think you got your countries mixed up there." Although Argentina wasn't a belligerent, they certainly weren't. How should you say it? Unfriendly. Because was Perón in power then, Gabriel, during the war, during World War II? I think he was, wasn't he? You know, was Perón in power in Argentina during World War II? I forget what time spread was. But
you asked me if Argentina also went to World War II?
No, Argentina, they weren't belligerent, but they were kind of semi-friendly to the Germans. At that time, they had a pretty totalitarian government, and I was trying to think who was in power. I wasn't sure if it was Perón or not. And of course, after the war, there was a lot of traffic between Europe and Argentina. We know that. But,
well, even if I knew anything about that, I cannot talk about that. Our government will not allow us to talk about things like that. So, well, all I can say is that I must be careful on what I say here on my side also. So all I can say is that we participated in World War II, and we did the best possible, because as a matter of fact, at the time everybody got together, all the countries got together, and they had just one thing in mind. It was like to bring peace back into the world, okay, and they did it successfully. Now, what forget for stuttering. What happened in the background in the backstage, like other countries, I prefer not to mention names, and all these are things I'm not supposed. Even I read things about many. I'm not supposed to say anything.
Okay.
Only about my country.
That's okay. But you read about them, and you're trying to stay up with, as much as you can, type deal, and just can't talk about it. That's all.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, you know how it feels, George.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, it's not a matter of, like you guys say, well, Gabriel, he's chicking out. He's yellow.
Oh no, that's not. It's a matter of respect too. You're respecting your country.
It's a matter of respect. So I believe that. I think that's sovereignty. Sovereignty is very important. And so if I were an Argentine, or if I were an American, a North American, so I would be entitled, like, to talk about that specific country, okay, and their specific rules. But I'm a Brazilian, so I'm entitled to talk about my country, our rules.
There you go.
But even so, I'm not an activist. Okay, but we have activists here also, and but they have right here. I'm talking about my country. We have here just as tough laws when it comes to activists. Okay, like if you say something against the government or something, somebody may come to your door and knock on your door and say, "Hey," and you never want that. So it's a matter of we guys have families, like you guys have families. I have my family also. So when it comes like to talking about national security and all this stuff, so I prefer to keep myself silent.
There you go, and that works that way. That's how it works. Just like if the guys were paying attention, they knew that Brett just waved and had to head out. We actually are an hour and a half into it, so we could close the show down. Just keep in mind, I guess it's for me, the subject for Sunday and Monday will be about Memorial Day during our 1 hour, if you will, that always turns a little longer anyway. And we can start the day off, and if it warrants a little more time on the air, we'll do that. Everybody will have show notes down below. I already have a couple of notes there that Lee. I got everybody's note that went in there. Oh, Jeff, your last one on your SoundCloud, I have that too. So that's actually the last note that I have in there. That's a little song. You want to explain a little bit about that? And that's going to be our final notes for today.
Yeah, that's a link to the Phil Oakes cover that I was talking about earlier.
That's right.
That I've recorded and put up on SoundCloud.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's 2.5 minute song. Check it out if you like. It'll be in the show notes, or just go to soundcloud.com/steelrain with 2 N's.
Okay, and I'm going to put it up right behind. It looks like I have the Phil Oakes, the Wikipedia site that we put up. So It's going to be right behind that. It'd be like, I think it's number 2. So it's at the beginning of the show, but it will fall into place and be right in order. I just filed it. It's not the last one anymore.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Hey, what can I say?
Mr. Miller, thank you.
Do you have anything to add as we're closing the show down, Diane? Glad to see everything's working.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I think it's good, and like I said, they are making improvements, and every time they bring something out new to us, they tweak. so we may have some days of issues and stuff, but they really are working really hard, and I think they're doing great, and they're listening to the people out here. When we find something, make sure that when you find something going on Google Plus, if they've opened up something new to us, and you find a little glitch or you find a little issue that you want to see if they are aware of it, send them a little message and, send them a little feedback, because the only reason why they know about some things is the users, and we are the users. So use your voice and let them know when you find something, or if you want something back. They're really good at feedback and getting on the ball and trying to assist people. So keep doing that, everybody, and I think it's been great. And like we said, support your veterans. No matter where you're at, you should support your veterans, whatever country. You should support them, and think about peace more than war, because I hate the war part. There's nothing. You need a housing, you need food. And you need in Texas you need air conditioning. So it's getting hot.
There you go.
Yeah, everybody on Monday or Veterans Day, go up and hug a vet if you see one. Right?
There you go.
There's a good thing to do on Monday. Hug a vet today.
Hug a vet. That could be.
Make them smile and you smile. That'll be perfect.
That's right.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to close the show down, and we'll have the last hot link in there was the Indie Artists Playground, right?
That's right. This Sunday, James Olmos. It's going to be good. It's always good with James.
Yep. Good man. And not only a good man, he's an entertainer. He's darn good at that, and big heart. Knows how to pull on your heart a little bit, during a song. You pay attention. So it's like real cool. I like James. So, but with that, I'm going to end the show here then now. We thank everybody for listening. It is an hour and a half into it, so we ran overboard, but we usually are doing that kind of stuff. If everything is working, it looks like it all is. We're going to see how this ends. Always a little stuff in life, right? But I think it actually ends okay. It's just confusing sometimes. But with that, we'll say take care. 7.3s to all my amateur operators out there. 88s to the ladies. And thanks for watching. And always remember to talk about it.